And a very good morning from Oakwood Theme Park here in Wales. You're watching Adventure Planet, where today I'm back here for my yearly visit to this park, which opened back in 1987 as a family-owned park, sits on about 80 acres and has 5 roller coasters here, 4 water rides and a number of flats. And actually some of the coasters here, Megaphobia is my favourite wooden coaster in the UK, and Speed No Limits, my favourite Gerstlauer Eurofighter in the UK. So it's always great to get back down here and get on some of those rides. Also, it being August, Wednesdays, Saturdays and the bank holiday Monday all throughout August, you've got the After Dark event, which features Colourfest, live entertainment and the fireworks finale at the end. It's always a really good show, so looking forward to seeing that again tonight as well. Now, if you want to come down to Oakwood and check all this out for yourself, prices start in advance online by at least 7 days at £36.80. Now, that is another increase on last year. As a matter of fact, those prices have gone up by £10 in the last 2 years, which is quite a lot actually, to be fair. You do get free parking here though, which is a plus. Looking forward to getting back in and checking out those changes today all throughout the park for 2024. It was a little bit lackluster last year in 2023, so I'm hoping to see some improvements around the park, although I've got to say, looking at this entrance, it's not really off to the best start. Park hours today, 10 AM right the way through until 10 PM. Let's head on in and see what's changed. And here we are at the entrance to the park then, but you wouldn't think it, would you? Look at this. Oh, for those familiar with Oakwood Theme Park, you used to have the big kind of entrance here. You had the big building with the welcome signs on and the Oakwood Theme Park logo in the centre, all the flags, and it's just gone. There's nothing here. I mean, if you pulled up into the car park here, you would think this park was closed and abandoned. I mean, this really isn't very good at all, is it? I mean, I don't know if there's plans here to build something new, freshen up the entrance perhaps. But I mean, I don't know how long it's been like this. I mean, if someone knows, let me know in the comments how long this entrance building has been gone. But yeah, we've just got this entrance signage here, obviously pointing down this way. But also, this is where you used to actually get onto the train as well. So I'm assuming the train is now gone. It looks as though the tracks are still here. Yeah, you got all the tracks kind of stretching out there. And that's a shame really, because I always tend to walk into the park from here, and today I was thinking, you know what, I'll get the train down today, you know, offer something a little bit different. But yeah, that's not going to happen today. Yeah, that's really looking in a sorry state, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah, we'll head on in and we'll see what the rest of the park is like. This all still looks really nice though. All the grass is nice and mowed and maintained, which is good to see. And we've still got the lighting around here. A lot of the planting's been removed though. We used to have quite a lot of flowers around here, which always look quite nice. That's all gone. Now, we do have some closures here at the park today. One of those yet again is Drenched. I've vlogged this park 3 times on this channel, this being the 3rd time, and Drenched has been closed every single time. We'll take another close-up look as we get there. But yeah, look at this. I mean, this is very, very, very quiet. The car park wasn't exactly full today either. It's not looking great for Oakwood, I've got to be honest. It's a park that has needed some serious investment for some time now. They did show a lot of love to Megaphobia last year with that £1.6 million retrack. But they really need to spread that love to the rest of the park, really. It's feeling like it's really on its kind of last legs. We'll take a look around the park and we'll see what other closures we have. We know that Bounce is currently closed due to the incident they had back in July. That's not yet reopened. And yeah, of course, Drenched there, used to be known as Hydro, is still closed. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second as we head on down into the park. You can see Speed No Limits just towards the back there. The worrying thing is I've not actually heard that. You can usually hear that from the car park, and I've not heard it yet. You can hear Megaphobia, which is good. But yeah, let's head on in and see what else we can see. And good news, it looks as though the train is still running. There we are. Hey, one of the park's originals, that. Opened in 1987, manufactured by Seven Lamb. Oh, that's good to see. Hey, I was kind of a little bit worried that the train may have been taken out there, but yeah, here's something different as well. Now, this is the path that I would usually walk down to actually get into the park. There is a gate across the end here now, so you can't walk down here. And there's been a new queue set up here for the entrance. Here we are. So you have to get on the other side of this mound here. There we go. So if you actually come down this path, this actually leads to this area here. And yeah, here we are. Looks like a new entrance has been set up. It looks quite nice. Got the music playing here. Got all the queue lines. There's some more planting here as well. Yeah, it actually looks quite nice. The only thing I would say is obviously, you know, from the car park, there's no kind of nice grand entrance to the park. And even this, I mean, you'd like to see, like, you know, the Oakwood logo at the top there, perhaps, you know, the welcome signs back. So it's a little different. It looks nice and fresh. But yeah, I would like to see something more back at the car park, so it's a bit more welcoming, you know. It does look very abandoned back there at the moment. But yeah, this is a nice start actually for an entrance. Let's head on in. And I've just been chatting to a member of staff at the entrance there then, and apparently the new entrance, as well as the destruction of the old one, was constructed for the start of this season, just to offer something a little bit new and a little bit fresher, I guess. And I got to say, it does look quite nice. It's nicely located. I like where it is. I just would say it needs finishing off a little bit. You know, get the Oakwood logo on there, and maybe a couple of other things just to make it look a little bit nicer. He did mention, however, that there are no plans to replace the old entrance with anything, which I guess is fair enough in terms of kind of an actual structure of any kind, but something needs to be done there, certainly with, even if it's just the flooring getting redone or some extra grass being laid around, because in terms of presentation, it's really not a very welcoming thing to see when you pull into that car park for the first time. Something needs to be done just so that it doesn't look like an abandoned park, really, because at the moment it really doesn't look very good at all. Made my way down to Drenched now then. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, I tell you, it's windy here today at Oakwood. Really windy, actually, really strong. Made my way down to Drenched, as I just mentioned then. Yeah, this opened back in 2002 as Hydro, manufactured by Intamin. It underwent a name change to Drenched in 2011, and it really is, or should I say was, an absolutely fantastic water ride. I mean, look at this. Look at the steepness of that drop. It is absolutely crazy. You hit that water with some proper speed and you do get absolutely drenched, as the name suggests. It was a really, really good water ride. I rode it a couple of times. However, it's another year at Oakwood and another year where this ride is closed, and yeah, look, it's really not looking in the best state, is it? You know, the word is that it's still having this new restraint system fitted. Now, the boat is apparently off-site at Intamin, getting these new restraints put on, or so say, but you know, this was exactly the same story this time last year. It really shouldn't be taking this long. I'm wondering if there's something else going on behind the scenes here for this ride. Maybe Oakwood are thinking about removing it, and I got to be honest, it wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, even if the boats did come back, this structure now has not been maintained in a long time, I don't believe, so that's going to need a lot of work as well. Yeah, it's just another sign, like when you get into the park, of, you know, the park just not doing very well, to be honest. You know, maybe they could remove this, get another water ride in its place, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the boats will come back at some point. This ride will get nicely refurbished and it will reopen, maybe, you know, perhaps for this time next year. However, I'm pretty sure that I've been saying that before, and it is sad to still see it SB&O another year later. We'll see though, we'll keep an eye on it. You know, maybe it does have a future here. I'm sure we'll find out soon. And here we are at the start of the park then. You've got the Oak Tree restaurant and bar just through here, and the park's main merchandise stall is just here as well. I have just been inside there just to see if there's any new bits of merch. Unfortunately, there's not. However, it did give me the opportunity to chat to a member of staff in there about the train. Now, apparently, the train doesn't actually stop just outside here anymore, and obviously doesn't stop at the old admissions kiosk either. It now does a full lap around where you get on and off at Neverland. So yeah, we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. It's always nice to get on the train here. and obviously see some of those different views across the park. But yeah, that's definitely new operations for the train here at Oakwood since the start of this season. They've also got a sky coaster here. This is Vertigo, opened back in 1997. Now you can get this for £25 if you book in advance online. I've done a couple of these before, and to be honest, once you've done one, you've done them all, haven't you really? I tend to do ones that have nice views. And Oakwood, there's nothing really special about the view here. So for £25, yeah, I've never actually done this one. I always give it a miss. However, I have seen a couple of people on it today. So I'll hang around, see if anyone else goes up, and I'll put some off-ride shots in for you. And a little bit of off-ride footage there then of Vertigo, the sky coaster they have here at Oakwood. And yeah, they certainly seem to enjoy their ride on there. It's a good day for it as well, actually. It's feeling pretty warm, nice and sunny at the moment. Just a little bit windy, that's the only bad thing. Hopefully that's not going to affect the ride too much as we go throughout the day. Right opposite the sky coaster though, we have this future development area still. Yeah, the construction walls are still up around here. Now behind here is what used to be, and I think still is actually, albeit extremely overgrown, used to be the mini golf area. It's not exactly a huge site behind here, but it's big enough that a nice junior coaster perhaps could go on here, or another flat ride of some kind. I remember saying, you know, this time last year that I was looking forward to seeing what this would become for 2024. Unfortunately, going by a little peek I just had over these walls, there has been little to no progression whatsoever behind here, which is a shame to see, really. It's still marked as this future development area. I don't know what future we're talking about. It's a little bit sad, really, that this hasn't progressed in any way. I was hoping to see this kind of flourishing, really, not to still be all boarded up, you know, a year later. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one. It is, for the moment, still all inaccessible. But they have got some advertisements for the fireworks spectacular here. They do have other events at Oakwood, including Oktoberfest, and they also get involved with the Halloween celebrations as well. Yeah, it's just a shame to see all this still walled up. I was really hoping that this would have been something by now, but there we are. Going to make my way down to Spooky Street now then, see if we've got any changes down in this area of the park. Used to all be based on Roald Dahl's children's books, this. Get my first ride in of the day on Creepy Crawler. Let's go take a look. And here we are on approach to Spooky Street then, with a big spooky sign. There we are. Be interested to see how this has changed in 2024. I see they've still got some of the buildings here that have long since kind of moved, really. This used to have the face painting in, but this has actually been moved down to Neverland now. But it looks like they've still got the building here, which is looking a little bit worse for wear, isn't it? But of course, what they do still have here as well is the dark ride they used to have. This used to be Spooky 3D. And this was apparently all getting remodeled, but as you can see, it's still all closed. Yeah, nothing in there at the moment. And as you can see, some of this rock work down here is kind of falling apart at the bottom here as well. Yeah, again, another ride kind of looking pretty sorry for itself. This opened all the way back in the year 2000. It's been various different things, including the Voodoo Mansion, which I actually quite enjoyed. Spooky 3D didn't really have the best 3D effects in there, but it was still quite a nice dark ride and had a real earwormy soundtrack as well. Yeah, it's a shame to still see it all kind of closed up and abandoned here. But yeah, there we are. Another ride that's not open here at Oakwood today. And they do still have the Haunt Pizzeria here, which is good to see if you do fancy a pizza. Quite expensive in there, although generally the food is pretty good. Although I will say the pizza I had there last year was a little bit on the greasy side. They do still have the spooky music playing though, which is good, and some outside seating to take advantage of, which is nice to see, especially on days like today. Yeah, this show building of Spooky 3D though really does need some love, doesn't it? And on the outside as well, all this kind of overgrown planting around here. I mean, so much could be done with this area, you know, basing it on the, you know, the spooky season and things. You know, I mean, they've got some, you know, artwork on the boardings around here, which looks quite nice. But yeah, I mean, look at this. It's all looking a little bit unkempt, isn't it, really? This used to be the exit to the ride here. And yeah, like I say, apparently it is still getting remodeled on the interior, but that was news I heard some time ago now. I've not heard anything new on this. If anyone has any updates, do let me know in the comments. Yeah, around here as well, looking not the best in terms of maintenance, is it really? I've got the Witch's Brew here, little mini teacups, and our first ride of the day, Creepy Crawler. Yeah, there we are. It is actually in operation today, so looking forward to getting on this. It actually opened back in 2017 as Flight of the Giant Peach, if I remember, when this area used to be kind of themed around Roald Dahl's children's books. It was just that for a year, and then in 2018, when Spooky Street became a thing, it became the Creepy Crawler. Yeah, little Pinfari coaster. Used to be located at M&D's, this, up in Scotland. It's not a bad little ride, although if you are quite tall, you can find it to be quite uncomfortable on the shoulders. But we'll get on anyway. Looks like it's pretty much a walk-on, so let's go check it out. And just as we make our way to Creepy Crawler then, it's worth noting they have actually got Witch Hunt here, which is a seasonal scare maze here in Spooky Street, which I've not actually done myself, although I have heard that it is actually quite a good one. So yeah, I would like to see that at some point in the future. You've also got the cauldrons here, which is the little bounce pads for kids, the little trampoline. And there's Creepy Crawler just up here. Yeah, it's got some nice theming on this one as well, at least on the exterior. You've got the big old pumpkin there fixed onto the house. Oh, and here we go then on to Creepy Crawler through the big pumpkin. Yeah, we got some nice bits of theming in here actually. Got the flickery lights here, the creepy table, these chandeliers, all the kind of webbing around. Yeah, there was some nesting birds in here last year as well. Yeah, you got some nice bits of theming in the queue line. It's just a shame that the ride itself leaves a lot to be desired. And here we go. Creepy Crawler. All the lighting in here, the spider webs. I'm still not entirely sure what this structure is here. It reminds me of the Hellmouth at Black Gang Chime, to be honest. Yeah, this time last year we had kind of birds nesting up here. It was kind of nice to look at, but here we are. Pretty much a walk-on to the Creepy Crawler, little Pinfari coaster. Watch your shoulders on this one if you are quite tall. I just had my ride on Creepy Crawler then, an absolute walk-on, just 1 minute waiting for the train to come into the station. And I will reiterate that it is an uncomfortable ride if you're tall, certainly on the shoulders. Those restraints are really not very forgiving, but it's a fun little family coaster that. There's a nice near-miss element on there, and there's a good helix towards the end as well. Just got off the ride, and yeah, look at this. Bits of theming up in the ceiling there, just hanging. I'm not quite sure what it is. It looks like an axe. But this used to be a long time ago the shop where you would get your on-ride photo, but yeah, it's kind of long since abandoned this place. However, there is a wraith. If you can call it a wraith, is she a wraith? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what her name is, but yeah, she's been there for quite some time, offering a little photo opportunity when you get off the ride. And just making my way out of Spooky Street now then, down towards the ride that most people come to Oakwood for. It is, of course, Megaphobia. However, just off to the left here, you got one of the park's originals, the bobsleigh. Yeah, this opened all the way back in 1987, park's opening year. The family fun side, and it really is fun actually. It's a great little ride this. The throughput isn't the best, it can be quite slow. I would say, you know, if the queue is certainly up to this point here, I would advise coming back a little bit later on in the day, but it doesn't look too bad at the moment, so yeah, going to hop on here. And yeah, it really is a fun little bobsleigh this. Of course, for those that have done this and are familiar with these, you just sit on your little car and you control the speed at which you take the course with a little handle in front of you. Hey! Oh, and I just had a really nice ride on the bobsleigh there, and it's always nice to ride a Parks original, isn't it? Yeah, really quite fun that. And while it's not the longest of layouts, there's some nice twists and turns in there, and you can pick up some pretty good speed if you push the handle all the way to the floor. Yeah, you go up to the top of this kind of steep incline here, and the ride layout starts just at the top there. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Hey, there you go. Yeah, really fun rides these, do enjoy them. And after that great ride on the bobsleigh then, I made my way over to Megaphobia. Time to get my yearly ride on what is, in my opinion, the best wooden coaster in the UK. Always look forward to this. Let's join the queue. Oh, and there she is, the absolute beast that is Megaphobia, about to take that first drop. Oh, it still sounds absolutely fantastic. Opened back in 1996, this, manufactured by CCI. It was actually designed by the legend John Wardley. It was refurbed last year, actually, at a cost of £1.6 million. Yeah, and it was a really well done retrack, actually. That first drop was all kind of reprofiled, made a lot steeper. You had some new elements thrown in, and it really did make the ride a lot smoother than it had been in the years prior. It was actually quite a rough ride, but since last year, that's £1.6 million well spent. It is an absolutely fantastic coaster, this, it really is. And the queue line doesn't look to be too long at all either. Oh, I absolutely love Megaphobia. It's the one thing that I gotta be honest is top of the list to bringing me back to Oakwood each and every time. And while at the end of the day, you know, things like Wicker Man obviously are much better themed, in terms of the ride itself, Megaphobia has got it beat in my opinion. I think this ride is absolutely phenomenal. Really can't wait to get back on. There you go, a little waterfall down there. Yeah, the queue's not looking too bad at all actually. Pretty quiet day at the park today. Maybe that a lot of people will come, you know, a little bit later on, closer to when the After Dark party starts, which I'm also looking forward to today as well. I've just had two awesome rides on Megaphobia then, waited just 10 minutes each time. And look, as you've seen earlier in this video, it's clear that Oakwood does have issues at the moment, but this ride is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best wooden coaster in the UK. That first drop since the reprofiling is glorious. 85 feet, looks out over the lake, nice and smooth. You've got a new double up element in there, a new double down, lots of pops of airtime around the layout. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's not the quickest at just 45 miles an hour. However, it feels like it's absolutely flying around that layout. The trains are nice and comfortable, nice and padded. It really is a great ride. And look, like I said, it doesn't have the storyline or the theming of something like Wicker Man, but in terms of the actual ride experience, you can't beat this. It really is absolutely phenomenal. Just queuing for my third go now. Can't get enough of this. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm in the Megaphobia shop now then, which is where you can buy your UV powder for Colourfest from 7 PM. You can get it in here, but also in here you can get lots of ride parts and old signage like this Plain Crazy sign. That's quite nice. Do like that, but yeah, they've got all kind of the wheels and kind of lap bar covers, and there's even some chain here from Megaphobia. Prices seem to range from around £15 up to a couple of hundred. So yeah, if you do like your ride parts, you can get them here in the Megaphobia shop. Nice selection. And just had an absolutely amazing third ride on Megaphobia then. It really is great. And there she goes up that lift hill. coming around into that first drop. I think it's an absolutely brilliant coaster. I still think that even today, it's the best wooden coaster in the UK. It really is great. And I'll tell you what, it's flying around that layout. It really, really is. It feels a lot quicker than it is. Hey. Absolutely brilliant. Made my way to the field area now then. This is where you will find After Dark taking place. You have all the live entertainment on this stage just here with Colourfest, which is now in its 7th year taking place in this area here, just kind of in amongst all these trusses. You've got the warnings for the UV powder paint just on there. It is worth noting that on particularly windy days like today, you will get covered in that UV powder paint, even if you are stood kind of around here. So bear that in mind if you're wearing clothes that you don't want to get that powder on. Yeah, it can get blown right across this field on windy days. But yeah, looking forward to the show. We've got all the fireworks that are going to be happening around here as well, and always looks really nice. It's got a great soundtrack. I think After Dark is absolutely a spectacular show here at Oakwood. It's well worth seeing if you've not seen it before. I'm actually getting a little bit hungry now though. I'm going to head on over and get some lunch, probably back at the Oak Tree, and then we're going to head on over to Speed No Limits. And I've just made my way down to the Oak Tree then, just to grab myself some lunch. Gone for 5 chicken tenders, the fries here, the nice garlic sauce, look at that, and a Coke Zero. And this came to £14.25. And yeah, it's always quite nice food in here, and it's all really nicely presented as well. Look at that, nice wooden tray, and all my chicken tenders all nicely piled up there. And they are very, very tasty. Yeah, good lunch in here. I'll tell you what, that was a really nice lunch that from the Oak Tree. Really enjoyed it. Nice hot and fresh chicken tenders, although I will say the fries probably tasted like they'd been kind of standing a little bit. So yeah, they could have been a little bit better. But on the whole, not a bad lunch at all. Made my way down to Waterfall now then as I make my way through to Speed No Limits, and you've always got to make a stop at Waterfall. Absolutely brilliant to watch this. One of the park's original rides, opened in 1987, manufactured by Bailey Rides. It's a little toboggan water slide this, and you can get absolutely soaked through if you don't know how to ride it, and you end up wiping out in this section of the ride here. I've only ever ridden this twice myself. Once I made it all the way across, and this last time I rode it I actually came off probably about 2/3 through the way of this section here and got absolutely drenched through, but it's always fun to watch. Let's see if we get any wipeouts today. And it's always good to stop by Waterfall just to see who wipes out and who doesn't on that ride. As you've seen from the off-ride shots there, it's a little bit of a mix today. Another ride that's going to be out of action here at Oakwood for this trip though is of course Bounce. Now this is the Huss Shot and Drop Tower. It opened here back in 1999, and from 2016 through until 2022 it actually stood SB&O, and it was rumoured to be getting removed from the park. However, it never was. It was just given a nice refurb, and then it was reopened at the start of the 2023 season, where it operated successfully all the way through until just last month actually, where an incident happened on here where the emergency override was triggered. A couple of people were taken to hospital with minor injuries, and investigations are currently ongoing as to why that emergency was actually triggered. And while that's obviously taking place, the ride will remain closed. It's a shame. I am going to miss it this trip. It's not a bad shot tower at all this, and you get some good views from the top as well. So yeah, hopefully this reopens sooner rather than later. As you can see there, you've got kind of all the test dummies in the seats there. So it obviously has been going through some rigorous testing, but I've actually heard nothing more on this as to when it will reopen. It's likely going to be the start of 2024 season now, or let's hope so at least. And I'm making my way down to Speed No Limits now then. The UK's first Gerstlauer Eurofighter opened here back in 2006, and in my opinion, it's the best UK Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Out of the three that we've got, including obviously Rage and Saw the Ride, in terms of the ride experience, very similar with Megaphobia, I think this is the best one. Saw's got the better theming, Rage at Adventure Island has got the better location, but in terms of the ride experience, this is incredible. Really, really forceful, great loop, great heartline roll, and a great helix at the end as well. Can't wait to get on. Let's go. here we are then, speed no limits, and I'll tell you what, this is an absolute beast of a ride this. Heights of 115 feet, speeds of 59 miles an hour with 2 inversions. Oh, and I'll tell you what, this airtime hill into that almost cutback element there, into the vertical loop, is so forceful. Some incredible forces in that part of the ride. Getting blinded by the sun. And then into that heartline roll. It really is absolutely incredible. Actually held the steepest drop in the world, this ride as well, when it opened, from April 06 through until July 2008 at 97 degrees. And yeah, look, we've got a new color scheme since last year. They actually started this last year, painting these supports black. They used to be kind of a turquoisey color. A little bit of a shame that they haven't done the track, though. I've got to say, the track has certainly seen better days, hasn't it? Look at this in here. Yeah, it's all kind of flaking off there. Yeah, it really doesn't look the best. That really needs a bit of a repaint as well. But the supports look quite good. I think I prefer that over the turquoisey look that they had before. But yeah, that track definitely needs some work. Wow. Let's go and see what the queue times are like. Usually runs just the one train this, so throughput can be quite poor. But we'll go and see, and we'll get a ride on regardless. Absolutely love it. No theming around, like I say. Soar's definitely got the better theming. And Rage at Adventure Island, definitely the better location. But in terms of forces and the ride experience itself, this is pretty unmatched. And I have just had 2 rides on Speed No Limits then here at Oakwood. Whoa. Oh, the speed that you come out of that first drop is crazy. Waited about 15 minutes each time on there. Operation's not too bad, even though it is running just the one train, so just 8 riders each time. But I'll tell you what, I stand by what I say about this being the best ride of its type in the UK. That first drop into that huge airtime hill, whoa, that cut back into the vertical loop, the forces on that section, oh, it should be illegal. And then this final helix as well, again, really nice strong forces on that. I absolutely adore it. I think it's a great ride. It is riding rough. I sat in the front row left side, back row right side. Have got a little bit of a headache, I will admit. But it's a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. These rides have never been what you would call smooth. However, oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. I'm going to get a 3rd ride on here, then I'm going to head back round, and we'll calm it down a little bit and get a ride on the Zero Tivoli treetops. And there we are then, 3 rides in total on Speed No Limits here at Oakwood, and it looks great from here, doesn't it? A huge airtime hill. Oh, I can almost feel the forces from here. I had a front row non-wheel seat for my last ride, just to try and get a bit of a smoother experience. It was still a little bit of a head rattler. A little bit better, but not by much, but it really is an absolutely awesome ride. I love it. 2006, been here for almost 20 years now. Who can remember as far back as when this all used to be go-karts here? Yeah, that's going back some time now. Absolutely love this ride. Megaphobia is definitely the best coaster on park, but this runs a close second. It really is absolutely phenomenal. Look at that layout. Just hopefully they sort the track out a little bit, get it repainted, and looking nice and fresh. Speed No Limits. Awesome signage as well. And I've made my way down to treetops here then. Absolutely love this ride. Opened all the way back in 1989, Zero Tivoli. It is just a standard layout. However, I love the way it wraps all around the trees in here. I think it's great. Love the sound of it as well. Oh, it's a classic, isn't it? Really long train. And yeah, after the forces of Speed No Limits, it's time for a little bit of a quieter ride. Ah, I love the treetops coaster. Shame it's not a 2-lap special, this one. Some harsh braking at the end. Let's jump on. Oh, and I really enjoyed my ride on the Treetops coaster there. It's always a great zero activity, that one. Like I say, love the way it wraps all around those trees. Made my way down to Snake River Falls now then. This opened back in 1994. You've got two enclosed slides here, Cobra and Python, but you've also got the open air slides in the center as well. Yeah, quite fun this. Done all four slides in the past, and I do prefer those enclosed slides. I think if I remember rightly, I actually preferred Cobra. Felt like that one was a little bit more intense. But yeah, it is a great ride, and one of four water rides that they have here at Oakwood. Of course, we've seen that Drenched is still closed. We saw Waterfall earlier, and we've also got Skull Rock over in Neverland, which we'll take a look at a little bit later on. Yeah, get your dinghy and take a ride. And you've also got the little boating lake here where you can hire out one of these little pedal boats. Never really fancy doing it on my own, I'll be honest. I have done the ride before. It's not the longest of layouts, if you like, but it does allow you to get some really nice shots of Megaphobia just kind of in this section here. It's good to just stop the boat, take out your camera and get some fantastic shots of that awesome wooden coaster. Yeah, not too much of a queue for it today. And it's a nice relaxing ride, usually to do kind of towards the end of the day really. Certainly as the sun's starting to set, makes those shots of Megaphobia look even nicer. Just behind that as well, you've got all the firework prep going on over here. There's a guy in there kind of putting all the fuses on or whatever it is he's doing. He got them all packed up there. You see all the launchers and all the tubes. Yeah, really looking forward to that show a little bit later on. And just through here as well, we've got the pirate ship. And a little bit of off-ride footage there then of the pirate ship as we make our way over to Neverland. Let's not forget about Dizzy Disc though, a little disco attraction. Not manufactured by Zamperla, this one. Manufactured by Dynas. Nice lighting package on this as well, quite like it. Hey. Not one with a hump in the middle, but it's quite a good cycle on this. There's some pretty good forces as well. Dizzy Disc. And some off-ride shots there then of Dizzy Disc, the little disco that they've got here. Almost said Zamperla there, no, it's Dynas. Yeah, it can take a little while to get going, that one, but it does offer quite a good ride once it does. Heading down to Neverland now then, and yeah, the atmosphere is just starting to kind of pick up a little bit here at Oakwood after it kind of lacking one throughout most of the day. The music started over on the lawn. Looking forward to watching the After Dark show a little bit later, but let's finish off the day here in Neverland. Used to be known as Kids World until 2013, when a lot of rebranding took place. And here we are to the entrance to Neverland then, second to the right and straight on until morning. I know exactly where I'm going to be heading in here, and that's to the sights of London. Absolutely love that track ride, and there it is, just off to the left. Yeah, we're going to head on there, get our rides in on that. Got a little tiny swinging ship there for the kids as well. I hope this is open. Do enjoy the sights of London. There we are, there's Horatio Nelson there, Nelson's column. And we'll also see if we can pick up the train from here as well, get our lap in. But first, the sights of London tour. Here we go. I'll take you on this one. And here we go, about to see the sights of London. Get ready for the launch. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Oh, is it going to happen? Is it just here? Hey, there it is. There you are, there's Big Ben, the Elizabeth Tower. Hey, it's quite a quick track ride, this. I really enjoy it. Oh, the sun's just setting now. Here we are in my little cab. Got my steering wheels. Little odometer there. Yeah, look at this. The sights of London. Hello. Here he is. There's Nelson. Hey! Do get 2 laps on this one as well. It's just nice now. That wind's calmed down a lot. The sun's come out, blue skies. Here we go for our second lap. Hey. You know what? It is such a shame. I feel so bad for Oakwood at the moment. I really do hope the park gets investment in the future. There's so many areas around now that, you know, really is just looking tired. The ride availability today has been really poor, but the staff here are really so friendly. And it's a lovely location as well. I do like the park, and, you know, like I say, you got 2 absolutely fantastic roller coasters here with Megaphobia and Speed No Limits. I really do wish for the best for Oakwood, but I feel like it's been this way for many years now. And yeah, it's really not great. But of course, we've got After Dark to enjoy later on. Looking forward to that. And there we are, we've seen the sights of London. Nice little ride there. And some on-ride footage there then of the Sights of London tour. Yeah, I really do like that. It's a nice little track ride, that 2-lap special. And you get to see all the little props around, which is really good. Short and sweet, that one. Made my way back out now then. And we've got Doctor Who's TARDIS is still here. Nice little photo opportunity that with the bench, and you've got the lamp here as well. I do always wonder what's that got to do with Neverland, but I think obviously the entrance to Neverland is here. Even though you kind of come through the entrance just here next to this little swinging ship, Neverland is actually just through here. We've also got another little flat ride just through here as well. This is the Oakwood Aerodrome. Yeah, no one on it at the moment, but yeah, as you can see, all nice and colourful. Nice little flat ride, that. Hey. There we go, the Oakwood Aerodrome. Yeah, just a nice little spinning ride. And just to the left of that, this is where I would have got my ride on the train. Yeah, this is where you get it from now. You've got a little waiting area just here. But unfortunately, though, it only runs from 11 o'clock through until 5:30. Every 30 minutes, you can jump on the train at this location. Yeah, so unfortunately, I've missed it for today. That's a shame. I was looking forward to that. It's nice to just get a lap kind of around the park, not fully around the park, but it does give some unique views that you can only really get from this ride. Yeah, it's a shame to miss out on that, so do bear that in mind if you want to come down and ride the train here. Just the one stop now here at Neverland, and it only runs from 11 till 5:30. And here we go then, let's enter Neverland. Oh, you got the music blaring out here. Really good to listen to that. Oh, it feels like a completely different place. Nice and polished, this area. Got Skull Rock just through there, but you know what I'm going to do? Oh, it's absolutely mandatory every time I come to Oakwood. We got to get a ride on the crocodile coaster. Hey! Yeah, a lot of these rides used to actually operate at Camelot, including Skull Rock, that you can see just here. Look at that. And the crocodile coaster as well. Here we go, another one of Oakwood's water rides. There we are. Hey. Hey, you can get quite wet on this one as well. Nice little drop on there. And the theming's pretty good as well. Big skull. Oh, the wind's picking up again here. Oh. As we head on down to the crocodile coaster. Hey, I've missed my little buddy. Hey. And here we are, the crocodile coaster. I like the theming on there. I love the big iguana. He looks great. Yeah, this opened back in 2013 after, like I say, previously operating at Camelot. I can't see a ride operator here, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a ride. Oh, here we go. Looks like we got someone here. There he is. Hey, let's get a ride. Oh, do you know what? I've never had so many strange looks from people in my life, I don't think, when riding a coaster at a theme park. Got to the crocodile coaster. Of course, there was no one there. It was a complete walk-on. I was the only one on the ride, on the back row, getting a 2-lap special. On the crocodile coaster, I mean, come on, when you come to Oakwood, you have to do it. It's been here since 2013. I ride it every single time I visit this park without fail. And yeah, I was getting some very odd looks from people today, adults and children alike, actually. But, you know, it's part of the fun. You have to do it. You come to Oakwood, you have to ride the crocodile coaster. Anyway, going to get a ride on Skull Rock now. Not too much of a soaker, this one. Hopefully, just me being in the boat should get away with it. But yeah, while we're here, why not hop on? And I have just had my ride on Skull Rock then, and I've got off the ride, and yeah, I've come around to get some kind of off-ride POVs, but there's just no one around here at all. Yeah, Neverland is completely dead at the moment. You've got some empty boats coming down here, no one on Crocodile Coaster, and no one on Tink's Flying School just here either, which I'm going to get a ride on next. Yeah, just a light spray on Skull Rock, nothing too bad at all. Yeah, this used to be known as Plain Crazy back when this was Kids World. We saw the signage for that back in the Megaphobia shop earlier in this video. It's a fun ride, this. You control kind of the lateral movement with these paddles on the front here. And yeah, while we're here and while it's obviously a complete walk-on, we'll get a ride. Unless, of course, it's closed. I don't think it is. Let's go have a look. And yeah, unfortunately, Tink's Flying School has been closed due to that wind. It has picked up a little bit over the last hour or so. So yeah, not the park's fault. But a bit of a shame that I'm going to have to miss this one, because it is a fun ride. There's Tink up the top there. I do like the theming on this one. It is quite cool. I like the ops cabin. The big saucepan there with kind of the fork and a spoon. I think that's a spoon. Might be a knife. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I quite like that. It is a good ride. Like I say, it used to be known as Plain Crazy. But right opposite that, we do have Neverland Chase. We'll get a ride on this. Little track ride where you're actually in a tractor, and I can take you on for this one again as well. And this ride's actually got some quite nice theming as well. Love the station building here. Neverland Chase. Here you go as we join the queue. Yeah, the queue line's quite well themed as well. You got this big kind of totem pole here. Look at that. It's all nicely detailed. Yeah, and I can take you on for this one. Nice little track ride. And the ride itself, again, yeah, quite well themed. You've got the rock work there, the teepees, all the little props around. Yeah, it all looks really nice. Yeah, like I say, Neverland really is quite a nice area of Oakwood. I do like it. There we go, about to get in our tractor. Let's go for a ride. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to take you on to Neverland Chase with me, as the ride operator was a little bit worried she might get into trouble if I was filming on the ride. And that's absolutely fair enough. Totally respect that. So I thought I'd come down here and just show you some of the bits of theming that you can see whilst on the ride. I did like this little fire pit here with the red light. That's really nice. Look nice and warm, actually. It's getting pretty cold now. Yeah, you got the teepees here, the rock work, little fire pit over the back here as well. Yeah, it really is a nice little ride. There's some nice little props around. And then just off the ride here, you've got this big sleeping bear. Look at this. Yeah, he certainly looks nice and comfortable, doesn't he? Don't climb on him, though. You got a nice kids area here as well, just behind, with all the kind of slides and bits of theming and props at the top here as well, which is nice. And then just as the ride starts, you got this guy here. Look at that. That's okay. Here he is. And there we are. Yeah, it is a pretty noisy track ride though. Lots of squeaks and various other very strange noises. Yeah, you got the toadstools just down there as well. Look at that. Yeah, nice bits of theming around. Like I say, you can see most of it from here anyway. I didn't need to take you on, not really. You got the Wendy house just in front of us here as well. This is actually where you get all your face painting done now. It used to be over by Spooky 3D, as we saw earlier. The building itself is still there, looking a little bit worn down, but they moved all the face painting over to Wendy's here in Neverland, which kind of makes a bit more sense, really, doesn't it? Being here instead of over in Spooky Street. There we are. There's Wendy. And then we got the little gift shop for Neverland just here off to the left. There is an indoor play area just off to the right here, but I believe it's closed. Hook's House of Havoc. Either that or it's just very quiet around here. I'm not sure. Let's go take a quick look. No, that's all shuttered, unfortunately. Yeah, there we are, Hook's House of Havoc. And that's about it for Neverland, really. So I'm going to make my way back out to the field area now. I might get some more rides on Megaphobia, of course. Love this crow's nest here. There's a piece of theming that's kind of, I don't know, just completely out of place here. It's just in the middle of the pavement, but I do quite like it. It looks quite nice. Yes, I'm going to go and get some more rides on Megaphobia now, and then we'll be settling in for the After Dark entertainment, starting with Colourfest. There's just some ambient nighttime shots of around the park then, and I gotta say, how great does Oakwood look at night? It really is a nice place to be. You've got all this festoon lighting around, and every single one of the rides here has that really nice ambient lighting package, almost kind of like a rainbow effect, and it really does make some of the rides look absolutely brilliant. Treetops looks gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and it's even on Drenched, a ride that's been closed for who knows how many years. But yeah, it really is a nice place to be at night, Oakwood. It's one thing that they do really quite well. Anyway, it's approaching 9:30 now. It's almost time for Colourfest and those fireworks, so I'm going to take my place over on the field, and we got some highlights of that coming up.
Splitting the stage in half. Everyone on this side, you're on my team. And everyone on this side's on my side.
back in the car now then after that absolutely awesome nighttime spectacular. Unfortunately, all the lighting around Oakwood at night was causing a little bit of a flicker on the camera, so I thought, you know what, come back to the car, get some kind of semi-decent lighting and give you my closing thoughts on my visit to Oakwood today. And yeah, what a fantastic nighttime spectacular that is. It really is great. Look, let's start with the positives of the visit first off. Speed No Limits and Megaphobia are absolutely spectacular. I love them. I think they're the best rides of their type in the UK. They're brilliant. Speed No Limits with all of its forces, and Megaphobia is just a phenomenal wooden coaster, and riding that at night is an absolutely fantastic experience. If you've not rode Megaphobia at night, please do yourself a favour, come down to Oakwood and get a night ride in on that. It truly is phenomenal. It really is. And speaking of rides at night time, the park at night looks really, really lovely. It really does. All the festoon lighting around, each ride having its own kind of ambient lighting, as I said earlier, all the lighting packages around. It really does look fantastic. It's great. It really does look nice. It's a nice place to be. Operations on the whole today have been really good. The staff are great here. They always like to have a friendly chat with you whilst you're queuing for the rides. Nice and friendly, and quite knowledgeable as well, giving you some history on the park and all that kind of thing. It's always nice to chat to the staff members here. And yeah, that nighttime show, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again here. It's something that Oakwood can be really proud of. Yes, it's starting to maybe feel a little bit stale now. It is, it has been running now for several years. Colourfest itself is in its 7th year. It's the same soundtrack and the same kind of actions, the same setups. So arguably it could be becoming a little bit stale, but I still think it's an absolutely fantastic show. The fireworks there, the audio, good to see the flame bursts are back. They weren't actually around last year, not quite sure what happened, but they're back this year. The strobe lighting, absolutely brilliant, and the location of it all as well is really, really cool. I love the way you've got Megaphobia in the background. Yeah, it just really kind of sets it off, and it's an absolutely fantastic show. And like I say, I do think Oakwood can be really proud of that. It's one of my favourite things to do. It's the main reason why I visit Oakwood in August, so I can catch that show. Unfortunately though, as we've seen in the vlog today, there's been a lot of negatives. The park generally, I would say that this was probably the worst visit I've ever had to Oakwood in terms of both ride availability and just atmosphere, really. Up until the After Dark show started to kind of kick off sort of towards the evening, the day was it just felt dead. It felt like a park that's struggling, a park that you would kind of think has probably got a year left. It really was that bad today. Yeah, ride availability, like I say, is very poor. We've still got construction fences up around the mini golf. Drenched is still down. The spooky 3D building is still empty. Obviously, Bounce was down, obviously because of the incident in July, but it is yet another ride to lose. And there's just parts of the park that really do need a lot of TLC. Neverland is quite good. Neverland is pretty much the exception, really. Neverland is quite good. There's some good props in there, some good theming, and there was, apart from again the lack of atmosphere in previous years when I visited there, it's usually very good. But yeah, again, even that area today was just lacking any kind of atmosphere. And it is quite sad to see, because I think Oakwood, it could have something special. It's a lovely location. It just needs a lot of TLC poured into it. Megaphobia got a £1.6 million refurb last year. They need to start looking at other areas of the park. I'll be keeping an eye on this one, but I think the bottom line is, if nothing has changed again, this time next year, I certainly won't be coming back to Oakwood in 2025. And that's kind of sad, really. Years ago, Oakwood was a great park to visit. I used to really enjoy coming here, but it just seems to feel like it's kind of lost its way a little bit, certainly over maybe the past decade, perhaps. Not quite sure whether it's anything to do with, obviously, it used to be family owned up until about 2008. It was then sold to a Spanish owned company, Aspro. I feel like maybe that's kind of where it started to go downhill, perhaps. I'm not really sure. But yeah, unfortunately, today has not really been a good day, certainly in terms of atmosphere. And that's what you want in a theme park and an amusement park. You want that atmosphere. That's what really kind of makes it, you know. So yeah, it's been quite sad that that's just not been here today. However, in terms of the next vlog coming up then, well, we've got the Oktoberfest celebration starting. Of course, we'll be at Thorpe Park for the first park of Oktoberfest, enjoying some Spaten and some, I better say Spartan, otherwise the Oktoberfest police will come knocking at my door. Some Spartan, some sausage, and all that Bavarian action on the stages around Thorpe Park, as well as getting back on some of my favourite rides, including Hyperia. Feels like a long time since I've rode that. That's all coming up in the next video, but right here from Oakwood in Wales, I want to thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy riding everybody, and I shall see you at Thorpe Park.